Los Angeles, this is The Herd, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, FS1. Also on Sirius XM Channel 83. Joy Taylor's joining us. I have not told you this. I have been keeping the biggest secret for 9 months. It's going to drop in like 2 weeks. Amazing. Huge. Good.
Yeah?
Yeah. I told a friend last night. He freaked out. I told a friend last night. He's like, whoa, you're hiding that stuff?
So for 9 months, you have a big secret.
Huge. Been working on something for 9 months. You'll all benefit, by the way. Not that 9 months.
You did not follow me at all.
Wrong gender on that, guys. So you'll all benefit.
Okay, that's exciting.
I had to tell a boss yesterday and a coworker. It's just a long story.
So when do the rest of us find out?
I can tell you I don't trust Goulet.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Goulet.
Greg's like, what? So I'll get into that. 15 minutes. Author, filmmaker. There's a new Steph Curry documentary. Remember the guy that did Tom versus Time? The Tom Brady documentary, how much I love that.
That was world-changing.
It was world-changing. Gotham Chopra has done the same with Steph Curry. It's called Steph vs. the Game. It is out tomorrow, so we have our documentarian. Also in Best for Last, this was fun yesterday. Yesterday we did the NFC. Today we're doing the AFC. The coaches are hired. The free agents are in. The draft is done. The three-word game. We summed up every NFC team yesterday in 3 words. We'll sum up every AFC team today. It's kind of funny, in 3 words. Well, great game. Rockets, Warriors, game 2 last night, told us this series boils down to one single fact. Don't be distracted by the flopping and the analytics and the letter by the Rockets to the NBA. And Scott Foster, do not be distracted. This series between the Warriors and the Rockets, and it's over, it's about Kevin Durant is now significantly better than James Harden. Kevin Durant is the best basketball player in the world and playing his best basketball now. At the end of the year, he didn't play a lot of minutes. He scaled back. He's rested. He is more efficient and better now in May. James Harden, who was destroying the world in January, once again comes to the playoffs, averaged 36 a game, regular season. Now it's down in the 20s, and he's not shooting the same percentage. I don't want to hear about James Harden's eye. Steph Curry last night had a dislocated finger. It was gross. It was turned sideways. Okay, long before that injury to Harden's eye, the Rockets were a mess and were down by 10. What I'm about to say, I'm not saying it's true. I'm asking you a question. Is it fair to say this? James Harden has become a better shooting version of Westbrook. Unbelievably relentless in the regular season. And then he kind of is a different guy, good, not spectacular in the playoffs. This is not a one-time thing. Last year, James Harden, 45% shooter in the regular season, 37% on threes, shot 41% in the playoffs, and 29% on threes in the playoffs. Harden and Westbrook win the awards, get the glamour, get the attention, spectacular, relentless, dominate January. And here we go again. Westbrook's out. Harden doesn't look quite as dynamic. There are NBA players, 4 come to mind, that appear to be better in the playoffs. LeBron James, he picks his spots in the regular season, not out to win awards. Kawhi Leonard rests lots in the regular season. Kevin Durant scales back, has nothing to prove in the regular season, doesn't try to play for minutes and awards in the regular seasons. And Kyrie Irving, who got heat for it, but this year missed some games, didn't play as hard in the regular season. It is easy to get distracted. Scott Foster, analytics, referees, everybody's picking on Houston and they're flopping it. No. Kevin Durant's better than Harden by a lot. And Kevin Durant, here we go in May, is playing the best basketball I've ever seen him play. You can blame Scott Foster. You can blame everybody. You can point fingers. Kevin Durant's always been great. He's the greatest version of himself. James Harden's always been good, became great, and now is back to being really, 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 really good in the playoffs. Remember, game one, Harden had a chance to hit the shot and missed it. And my argument would be that was their moment. Remember, the Warriors got pushed to 6 games by the Clippers, had played Friday night late, and then had to fly up home and play an early Sunday game. You had the Warriors. That was the moment. And Harden missed because he misses more now than he does in the regular season. Don't be distracted. All right, I want to shift to this. I'd like the camera squarely on me right now. Thank you. I think Kevin Durant would be out of his mind to leave the Warriors. Coach, former player, Steph, Clay, Bob Myers, new arena, Silicon Valley, California weather. I don't get it. He wouldn't make any more money in New York. I think it would feel like LeBron going to the Lakers. He'd be great and have a bunch of average young guys around him that nobody else wants. I hope he doesn't go. I like this Kevin Durant. But let me defend Kevin Durant leaving for a second. Kevin Durant has been arguably the best basketball player in the world for 10 years. I say LeBron, but he's a better offensive player, I think, than LeBron. But his entire life of basketball, Kevin Durant has finished second. He did not go number 1 in the draft. He was number 2. Kevin Durant went behind Greg Oden. Really? Then he goes to Oklahoma City. And Sam Presti puts his arms around Westbrook over Kevin Durant. He's number 2. Really? And then he goes to Golden State, where he's clearly the best player, but he'll never be as popular as Steph. He's number 2. Really? And then for 10 years, despite his dominance, there's LeBron. He's number 2. Really? Even at Nike, his contract, second best. And I'm not saying Kevin Durant thinks about what I'm going to say, but let me ask you, when it comes to iconic stuff, 25, 30, 40, 50 years later, it usually works in groups of 4. In the NBA, Magic saved the league, MJ made it global, LeBron made it mobile, and Steph revolutionized it. Kevin Durant, he's not on the Mount Rushmore. He's just great. It even works that way with great centers. Bill Russell was the most accomplished, most titles. Wilt was the most statistically dominant. Kareem was the most unstoppable. And Shaq was the most physically dominant. Akeem, often better than Shaq. He's just great. It works that way in all sorts of fields. I've worked in radio my entire life. Marconi creates it. Paul Harvey's the first star. Rush Limbaugh saves AM radio. Howard Stern's the ultimate bad boy. I was an Imus fan, but does he just qualify as great? Generally works in that Mount Rushmore thing we talk about, 4s. 25, 30 years from now at a bar, not my bar, a bar, I won't be here. Magic saved it. Michael made it global. LeBron made it mobile. Steph made it a 3-ball league. Will we just say, God damn, Kevin Durant was unbelievable. Akeem was unbelievable. It's even in music. Individual stars, Sinatra, Elvis, Michael Jackson, Elton John, Whitney. Usually don't get to a 5th or a 6th. It's groups of 4. I look at Kevin Durant, and I think he's nuts to leave. But he always seems like he finishes second, and not only second, but he's better than the first. He was better than Greg Oden. He's better than Steph. He shouldn't have the number 2 current deal at Nike. He's no longer second to LeBron. He shouldn't be number 2 to Westbrook. Like, I get it. I get when you are the world's best. I can understand a guy thinking, man, would somebody finally say, you the man? I wouldn't. I don't get it, that. But if he went to New York, unlike LeBron's foray to Los Angeles, which has been at best a mess, and he won in New York, maybe then he makes the mountain. But I'm watching him last night, and the gap between him and even the amazing James Harden is substantial. We had the Warriors beat writer, one of them, Marcus Thompson, on our show about 3 weeks ago. And one of the questions I asked him, I said, like, he's smart, right? Like, he's going to give the Warriors a final chance to sell him, right? Here's what Marcus said about KD.
I'm not buying that at the last moment he's sitting at a meeting with somebody and he can't be swayed. Either way, to stay or go. Because
that's his personality.
Yeah. He could think it's done right now, whether that's staying or going. I still think later on, like, he can be swayed. Like, he's a guy, he feels everything. He sits in the room. He's present. He's got to weigh this stuff. We still have 3 or 4 more series if they win a championship of data to insert into this equation, right? Like, I don't know if even if he thinks he knows the answer, I don't think he knows the answer. I'm not buying it.
Stay tuned. A lot of the story remains. Coming up next, Gotham Chopra did the Tom vs. Time documentary. Now he's doing Steph versus the Game. I cannot wait to watch this. I love these documentaries. Behind the scenes, go home, follow them.
Does an amazing job.